but yenua Okyere e we nchen say na utumi say Ghana ni pure pa we ni ti a we say o footballer obebo 8 and 10 Okyere akwaba
yenua
na ti say
pacho nyame adom na mo so
e de nyame ase e so born wa bobi da ho
I'm a ball Reading for 2 years and ball Fulham for 1 year.
Oh wow. Reading e wo UK.
Pacho.
About 2 years.
Yes.
And about Fulham
for 1 year.
Oh wow. Ndi ubo tamana jumping so on and I say before.
Oh no, way before.
Way before, okay.
It's not London for about 22 years now.
Wow.
It's me call anymore and I'm about academy now. Yes.
I think it's quite a very young age.
Oh yeah.
And I'll call.
Yeah, I'm about 14.
Na ya kwantu na ya oda na say e abusua na do call ya na say because say usana two batasa no.
Pacho me ma me nim papa na e be fa me.
E be fa call ye. Wow. And I'll call you so no wama say so abamfa so pa.
Nyame adom.
Di say ade pa na oye.
The mean say me trainee professional football players on a one-on-one basis. We're up to about 120 players on my books at the moment.
100
and about 15 players in the Premier League.
15 players in the Premier League. Yes. Wow. Oyene mo mo videos ni bi o. Mo family Facebook. Na first and foremost ni ebisa say Okyere. Why ni Okyere?
Well, the Padodo na from me. I will London from Coach Freddy. Anna Kumasi so anase Ghana so mo from me Koku Usuchum Okyere.
Koku Usuchum Okyere. We dey fear dim pa. Koku Usuchum Okyere. Na wa makai madam fobi. Na fe ne Koku Twineboa. Na ebisa so na brofo din o say da brofo din dey me dey kwan. Mpese mi amanfo hu ba bia mi free. Oh yeah. Enti o say Koku Twineboa na ompe Joseph bia na ompe Mr. Abra Pia ka o say Alex de say krama bi din enti faudi kama pa. Enti Koku so uguso awuchirem and I say Kumasi de San Efro.
Na me trainee player to say Edin Ketia, Tariq Lamptey.
Oh wow.
Mikel Antonio, Andres Townsend, Nathan Redman.
Dina obobo no me unse ye obi no one say obi o why say o fe Abedi obi say fe ni Pele bi ana obi na mpacho maye hu players na obobo no any clubs are more bona yentimi for easy identification.
Yeah, Mikel Antonio bought West Ham.
West Ham
striker no. Andres Townsend Everton as we speak, no Palace.
Yeah.
Edin Ketia Arsenal Football Club, Tariq Lamptey Brighton, Wan-Bissaka Man United.
Wow.
Said Benrahma West Ham, Calvin Bassey Rangers.
Okay.
And this is just some of the few players that we're training in the Premier League.
Wow. Yeah. And then juma a premiership no pa. Any football in total in the UK.
Oh yeah.
Now obi baby say Ghana ni how did you come about that opportunity na free him fa?
What I did is because time I me football na me bobia na I try to coach players na me no more and most of the time no money anyway, but that's something I always wanted to do. Me football na menya professional contract na me call America. And I scholarship for 4 years with American University of Atlanta.
Okay.
But after 1 year, I saba back to London because na me ninja as much as said you can't say by you. It's me by London and I'm me coaching badges na me co university as well. London and I started me coaching badges now. But the funny thing was boy back when I'm in the co school, our Reece James agent now, which is one of my players as well.
Reece James.
Yeah. Wow. Michael Apia.
Oh.
Or your Ghana.
Your long-term project when you know be juma papa.
Into the Michael na near school the first year was university no ka say onye uncle school bi no person okoye football. And funny enough no see him say me a coach me ba up. And one time Mikel Antonio at that time no Sheffield Wednesday League 1. What he did was offer me say, listen, Mikel Pes where you're training. Is there anything that you can do or by London? Because at that time not to Sheffield. And we acquire first training session. And the acquire first training session, and Mikel Ekas I need a session I'm in the year. Is there anything I can do more going forward? I'm in the year more.
Okay.
And we started some in the year training to through that to also catch and now for 4 and my also started contacting me. That's why I saw say mahu ade nso wo
Happy
and so with that boy as much as na me coach FM so na me timi sa boy in a one-on-one session and me more of a transitional coach to help the players develop to the top level.
Let's say Okyere say big performance.
Yes.
Coaches in the
Yes.
But I say mon sheda no system. Why that?
No, unse there's a couple of people on na answer why imagine so betimi ayi. But also to be a one-on-one coach, you need to also understand club and also philosophy. Let's say Happy FM. By all means, there's other radio stations out there, but more near more unique.
Yeah, sure.
So now, what makes Edinketia unique compared to Mikel Antonio is what I need to know. So I also need to understand the club and also philosophy, how they play and how they want to use them. So say a striking session for Edinketia be different to a striking session for Mikel Antonio. Because West Ham uses Mikel Antonio differently to how we use Edinketia or Arsenal. And you always have to understand exactly how and why they need them. And the reports someone said them out to work on what you need to work on and understand what design the sessions. And they're very technical and very detailed.
Yeah, because it's an okay. School no no Atlanta no so ban for so ma pa.
Yes, and the Mekono London is so ban for so.
So ban for so ma.
Yeah.
Na eti ya na say omo clubs na say na worker say you need to understand the club and philosophy no. Do you go to the club only technical team no be have a chat be on be din komo be a player no because they can see say be a player e cry any year adwuma. I don't know. Or Sunday be something different at the bar, something exceptional. Did they ask those questions?
Some clubs in the are more accepting for the players to go and do what they need to do. But then, before some more they need to know coach na Okyere Sejuman. For instance, West Ham say, or more to me send the players, in regards to how they can get better. Before so sessions, since like I said, because we were up to about 120 players on my books. Because my age for a longer time now, some of the clubs in the philosophy, they send it to you. They make you understand.
Okay.
And also reports and so on. Okay, this is the report. Yes, be more for okay, but they will give you like a vivid report on paper. Not me measure the report on what the players need to work on, and as a player need to work on. Now my design sessions around Sade Chrono. For instance, one Basaka, people talk about the crossing. And that's something we've always worked on from day one to try and help him get better. Before so call United from Palace and near working on Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, when what boy Juma? When they say you don't come na I don't go for do na chese. Or you say okay say otu ado e be day. Oh ne yan kidnap no. Na say kidnap. Na when you know I say oh yeah the man a man for outside. But oh my Ghana they benefit na ye nya wo.
Oh, at some points in you never abeboa Ghana, your modichem so kumase. It's me ba normally there's an academy team be on my here and there. I try to give back to the community anyway. Into at some point in a say basse you never boa.
E kumase dichem so.
Aye, ebeboa Ghana mine say oh baby as the city biana.
Because you can if say those say football no. Your friend who say football nation. But in your baby or you knew ya catchy in terms of personnel. You be your mobile positions. I would no more making sure say, if I'm a place, at me deliver at the Amaya. Yeah, it seems you're lucky, Sanya Mano. And I say, so of course, be a cook myself will be.
Yeah,
so coaches no bow, Muntumika, or Park and run, we are one more. Now, boy, I saw Cocu, na a very upon no be a coffee. Musani man be.
Me who be pa, say football. I always say, football now is really detailed. Anna, obi any one more or then ba ebe kwa kuma se bi teacher near onye unim di or che no be che ne ba. And it comes back to football as well. Unse see any football syllabus will chromo hanoma. Most of the time no, untimi blame coaches ni bebre because se bi obi a onim bi no untimi nchire obi bi. And I always say your football syllabus no anye better in regards to the coaches now or training players now. There's small details be what's here added to your coaches no must be to me article down to players now be man better. For instance, there was a Ebia me call the champs no. No mo ball match bi na midfielders ni no mo ba no mbeje ball na mo ba flat-footed. What I mean flat-footed is mo do mo nim and eba rather than so better no sideways to receive. It's all when him ba we break ball, we better no one side on my pass, which is 3 passes. But say what that no one has to receive ball is 2 touches. It becomes 2 passes. So then no see call an attacker. It's quicker because you're quicker by a second. But by you touching the ball, turning before you pass, no, we've lost a second in the attack. And that's the detail we need to add it to.
Okay. And so, example, be to say, we are Manchester United before, Bosco, Roy Keane, we say passes, 2-3 passes. Now, through opponent in the area, but Okobisa Barcelona, no, it's not like that.
No, because our philosophy is different. So the detail you add to philosophy is really important. So now what I'm saying is to say you can't say you might be a 2 passes now call opponents in a half. No, it comes back to the detail of what happens even before say player be receive the ball on a crown, the body shape. Say be always scanning around to see what's happening. Triggers near the end. When they move, when they show.
Scanning around.
And in the
side place in the team yes I didn't know.
No, say which players now? I always say Ghana Premier League in the players that play in there, no, they have talent, but they're not effective. And playing in the Premier League, you need to be effective and not have talent at that age. Okay. Because you're old enough, you've gone past 18, 19, you're no more talent. Now you need to be effective in the positions you play. But then, can we blame them? No. Because they haven't been taught. In terms that people tend to say Nipa Anko Stadium these days. But now, people are used to the best by watching the Premier League on TV. It is Okyere Stadium, that's it. Regardless of whatever talents are these players, no one. That's who the best football that is being played like he's seen on TV. You don't get the best out of the players now. You lose the fans. And that's the detail to it. We tend to say, so stadium, I say. But the technical side of the game, no. You're not improving it. We're not improving it. And that becomes a problem.
Come on, dear pa. Me pacho, bring your Facebook page. You wanna be share. Ube who coach I coach Freddy. Any friend who go UK, they have friend Freddy. But Oba hadia Okyere. Ena a friend Kumasi di Chemso. Koku Usu. Ena a friend ho. Pacho, be share. Kwa over Tarik Lamte nomne. Eye dinketi. Ene just say dinketia. Say what minim dia way there. You can refuse to answer all. Say Ghana here dinketia obeba obane ne kan. Who didn't do come visa?
Yes, and I think at some point in Obeba, I'm hoping it will be before the World Cup, but at some point in Obeba, because I know there's things that are being done in the background, but at some point, and I'm hoping it will be before the World Cup.
But look, you follow Black Stars?
Yes,
100%.
Because since we're young, Jordan and you as we speak, I'll be 29, 30, into fade out. Into you've been here will be only about 23 years, and so beats me and Ghana for the next 5 to 6, 7 years, 100% going forward. But
Jumaya okay, me hear Antonio. He's one of the brilliant strikers Premiership. No, time season started at West Ham. Now he was Obiana leading attacker or Shego small musa and injury babeha na kakra. Ya Jordan are you? O here Juma on ho kakra na. Sebia o ba se ye no adwuma ebeboa.
Yeah, unse Jordan, people see Jordan as a number 9, but I see him as a number 10. Okay. Because what really happens in regards to Sedi Omu using a Palace now Omu using as a focal striker anymore. Once a Palace plays like a 4-3-3 formation. Until most of the time, almost central 3, almost 3 up front, and a central player has to be a player or presence, bring the ball down, get people to attack, and bring people in. But once Omu using on the other side, and that's on the wing side of the 3, until what happens, and they say he's not really scoring goals, and I say he's not really doing what he's meant to be doing as a focal striker. But once Ghana is using as a focal striker. Whereas Palace is using as a 10. Sometimes a bit to me I'm confused in where you play, because on a daily basis all ball as a winger, practically as a winger. That's all Ghana that's used as a focal striker. People tend to judge you on that because you're not scoring goals. But with time, if I was to get a chance to help him, by all means I know I can help him.
Okay. Because most Black Star coaches will be about obey you. But the fans are not happy with Jordan performance. They try to accuse him. Say, striker, they watch ball. Say, we should go. The beer is about a year. ɛwɔ Jordan so na ɔgyina anim hɔ ɔnhyɛ go but this is explanation out there man
fans I always say fans share football how they want to see it. And so as technical people, and also know how from the technical side of the game. Wow. So what I'm saying is, fans, you can never blame the fans because
videos here, Facebook, players, in fact, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. No, it's not that simple.
Without fans, there's no football, and without fans, in regards to your coaching, but I always say, people tend to blame the fans, and no one should blame the fans because Obetana Stadium at the Opesu no be who. Said the overhead football is different to how I ever football. So now, being a technical side, being a technical person, what we need to try and explain is that we need to try and explain to the fans, okay, this is how we're using him, and we don't expect him, of course. So right back across you go, you're happy. But you don't expect a right back to score a goal. And say maybe you're using we don't expect him to score too many goals, but we would hope to be contributing towards our goals. And I think it's important to be explain this a bit more from the technical side and for the fans to understand say this is the person and this is who he is.
Okay. I can say Dinketia de Unenkasa Obeba. Ghana, that's it. But not banning the here. But Tariq Lamte.
Tariq Dianone, I've spoken about this before. Dad was not really happy. Said make breaking news. No, I feel say at some point as well. No, so yes.
Okay.
My name if it will be for the next call up and
and now you are into coaching. I say, and was some place be brave. The perception is as you see, and you focus here. Ghana fire war more bruchiri and a ye chase your moya form of your moba. Na coaches no free say and no bad boy, but ya Timon Mufono, yes, you said that be ye the name of your woman and moon for moon and no bad boy. Minim
in a short term, no, and no bad boy in a short term. But I always talk about say, for now, no, you need football DNA, you need football syllabus. Yeah. So now, say Otuado Bane, that's what you see players from the Premier League in the Krana. Ochusu am out of the Ochusu am out of the no Otuado now. So now, say Nyame Fasama say Chino Otuado ni one more. Obi Obeba to be choosy players out of the But when we have a football philosophy and as a football DNA, we know say okay. So our player we did of it is so much and as it shows straight into the Ghana national team. It is a body division one cry in regards to Boyna or co-portnance, Ishaku. Obai, and no one has complained, even from where he came from, because we know we needed a winger, we needed a trickery winger. It's in the buy and also free division 2 crying about and we feel he's the right person for the national team. But then say the mechanism so to do HUC player be now. From league I born or choose based on the and I said to you, sir, players are more Premier League name as we speak. Our more maybe I might hear about 2 or 3 games our Premier League or matches, other matches and so. But you can tell, sir, there's so many talents in the league, but that should never be the case. Okay. They have to be effective. It is all about national team. National team there, tried and tested. It's no more about talent. It's tried and tested because every year. My family know me in the national team because we don't have the talent to play for the national team. But if we are to call someone to come and play in the national team, he has to be tried and tested, which has to be effective. Okay. Because listen, your national team, you were 2-3 days or even a week maximum. So be training and some the game. It is all balance of any national team, so it becomes a problem. But these jobs they should be done through the under 17s. And the 20s, that becomes the transitional period of the game for them to understand how we play and why they're playing for the national team. It is Omoko first team now. They've been tried and tested straight away.
Okay. Come on, na Freddy T, Okyere, and Coach Freddy, and Yanene Etwichin Komono. Na Oshare a Juma, obey Facebook page, obey quite fast only players in the year Juma, one-on-one basis, and it's a peak performance. Coaching no ebi no oile minim our questions be issue botoma obebisa say Coach Freddy
question I'm saying say for instance player be on a skill set, right? At what point in a player urban say improvement Because him say in the course of the league, I had 10 months, you know. Players in the first 6 months they are in very, very good form. If we have performance graph now I'm drop pay. What are some of the indications that most the player are burning out? Then I'll bet me to get them physically back to shape or make them become form because even in our league, players in the last 30 years, they also do be a more than I'm forming article. Yeah, now you need to be able to me about mama saying regaining form. What they do is that they bench them near the player form. What can we do? What would be the indicator to once a player no air burning out the form no air dip?
The sessions now is not just fitness based. It depends on what time of the season is what you do. See, I'm trying to say, player be on my plan or it will be fitness based because we need to try and get him ready as quickly as possible. Yeah. So and the player is being so on is the technical side of the game. So now, for instance, Edin Ketia, most of the time, we have Wednesdays and Sundays off. And sometimes even players need to be quiet to me by Thursday after training for us to train them.
Wow.
So what I do is I work hand in hand with the club. So now, also you're training beyond GPS.
Yes.
Which
to monitor all the indicators.
Yes. So which tells you how much miles and as kilometers or in the training sessions they did. Into a mobile, some players need to make a Freddy you're training for an hour and that's be an hour and 20 minutes. But maybe we had the GPS number using it in training now. Yeah, another hour. The chances of being an injury are really high. So I would have to explain to them and maybe we just do 40 minutes or 45 minutes of just the sessions. Sessions a warm-up technical session before we go into like the main session. Some players, we could just do the warm-up, not straight away into the main session. Depends on what they need. To depend on where they're coming from, I have to now work it out for them rather than say, obey training, not just to try and get the session. Because we need to also look after their body as they're doing the sessions. It's really important you look after all of that before so a session be among.
Okay. All right, Fula. A lot of teams in Europe now employ a lot of specialists to help them. Neuroscientist be a bar. He's trying to help them, not just the physical bit, but the mental bit. Can a team implement that? As in, when we say team, for instance, the football club will bear 25 players. Is it not difficult getting one player on the side and getting this done, or it is best effective doing it privately?
Harder doing one-on-one sessions. Like I said, you need to understand the patterns of what the club does. Patterns of playing here. And if I say, keep an edge boy, they may a right back in the midfield and the striker back will drop it, the other striker will go high. So now, I need to understand Sadia from the club's perspective to understand what happens with my player and me training. For me to draw these pictures, for him to understand, so, okay, this is what's going to happen and this is where I want you to end up. Okay. It's really detailed and there's so many cameras and sessions now you're setting around. If it's a player in a crowd, we come back to the cameras and show him. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about the player and you try to get better. It's in the detail of the sessions it's really, really important.
But capital intensive.
I don't know because it's expensive.
It's a cameras, but around you.
Because a lot of technology goes in, a lot of skill set goes in.
Your question, follow up to your question. They assume it's a club wants to.
Yes.
Say asking for person
performance
working
coach.
with 150 players. Yeah, person only a club will be it should be only Arsenal.
I have been approached by a couple of clubs but then because I've got about 120 players on my books, there's at least about 50 different clubs I'm normal players here training. And that's what gets me going. It's for me to tell or say, because let's say it's Arsenal. Because I've helped him from the age of possibly 16, 17 throughout the transitional period into first team. So me Janice Anna Ebeham.
It's all person soon.
Yes.
It's not we are not looking at the Sikana Ebano. So Okako Shekona baby now we enjoy with Sika, but rather no person with the knowledge, spreading.
Is there a difference between a transitional coach and a performance coach? Because we say some clubs have one person playing both roles.
No.
Or transition from the junior team to the senior team or the first team, and how to monitor their performance and get them to.
Yeah, I talked about when you play for the academy, you're a talent.
Yeah.
But to become a first team player, you have to be effective, and that's a transitional period side. So now, obi wo hono ma player bi wo hono ma your big hopes man, your big aspirations. They say so we go to the top. But then again, no, so the transition, no, it's a plateau. It becomes a problem.
Sure.
So now, what I do is like I said, no, is that you have to be effective in the positions you play. It's in as much as Obejiborna as a winger, between players, and when you're not effective in putting in a cross for us to score, you're not a winger. Until that transitional period, no, from academy to become a first team player, no, is where I'm really specialized. So I'm a board players, no, from the age of 14, 15, 16, no, all the way through to the first team, and a longer jobs, and I say a day in day out job.
Okay. Now, a lady football club owner, Suka, say, Obisa say, Yana a Miman Kwana say, Yana a maso football, female footballers, and so.
Yeah, me were 2 Liverpool players, or me and I'm a training as well. Yeah, you know.
Wow.
It's all about football. To say you're about say maybe
once we football and Kwana.
Where the Minya Anka, you back of Fana, you Africa. Nanka, what's
we need to.
We're very pro bono.
We're
very pro bono. Very
very
National service.
Come on, you see video analyst by Ghana Black Star. They say Kokohan Yobi.
Oh, Man City. Ghana near Man City.
What they say? You need be oha. And the people are out there.
Coach, you bet me the knuckle.
Yes, of course. And send your project 25 million.
But answer what cap also yeah pro bono ma Zaki Sansan.
Yeah, go. Now, Enkrano, Dabena mo submitting way.
Oh, yeah, submitted that.
The more say
oh, yeah, submitted that.
Moko.
I say FNU decided because we both final on Saturday. Deadline is Sunday. And I'm sure the FA will decide.
More electing
there be more options. So what happens there? Normally, submit to BT deadline. So my options for 3 clubs to submit. So and to submit we are. Fortunately for us, you will final before the deadline on Sunday. And you'll be winning and Ebeko. Yeah.
But my chances the same.
Oh, so obi a ocean back question me national inside the na edin. But maybe I catch that was say.
Me kaisa ko bia me kura bi. Ma bonus na one day me oh, one free uncle say, "She na dey ku so kume." Me wi na ko ye wura ma so kukuru me fan grim. O se me nku bi o. Me do wa o se me nku bi o kura.
You say am pe da ko for bomb ho pa bet. Maybe I catch that was say. Ye bo bunch na wie na Zakes. And the Africa.
Okay.
And the medical catch you.
Very good.
And the back room no.
Okay, Aisha, mama yam
Mami Musa coach back where. My question Musa coach ni say. Ono aka say oko otu kwan at the age of 14. Na esi den na no ni twi oka no we bibia e kama pa
adenti enwonwa
asantini akora.
Adenti me
person. No fasibi e wo Australia Curtis.
Okay,
yeah, Curtis can minkabi. And so no be kruma bia am say 5 years bia no si kruma.
Enti person busa coach say adena
Coach Freddy
ni twi kama me no see wo no di chem so de ba ko at the age of 14. In fact ni suku nyina wako London ene America. Enti na ni twi no oka na te se me a mete ha mintu kwan kura ja be passport kura afi na me copy bi.
Nze me ne na na tena e Ghana. And I'm a coin, so I said, "Mamma and Papa, and yes, if you any bibia, and you can't treat that." And I try to make sure that me lose miss me, because it's important to me. Say, was that the anime penny say you will be Timmy Casa, not many cabo for. So what Timmy Casa be a seminal Casa, memete. I in as you beat my express here home better. Because every before the because you could see it.
You better say
managing the tree in the casa
because you say no, yeah, my brother no quite enjoy. Na Antonio no muchina omuko share and fan kwashishe. And so I say obana obe working on some of Ghanaian players, you know. Na so aban faso di amai. We say na ba unyo mo say at a young age na uyo mo adwuma e boa say omo nyini na.
Yes, because omo at a young age no omo tie better. Anna, from when Omunyobia, it is when you're part of Obionyobia and also bigger, Adibia, Shemis mean crying. And Mammy Timitan said, the maker said, Edinketia didn't say because Edinketia at the age of 16 at Chelsea release. No, not a Chelsea player.
Yeah.
Not Chelsea release in. That's when Ane Papano got in contact with me. He started training. To see him grow to where he's at now, no, is what keeps me going.
Yeah.
Chelsea, but no abo brace.
No, it's a fantastic chap. Oh, very good.
Like and subscribe and click on the notification. Happy FM, Nimdie, Happy FM, and Nijenkwa.